Hello, everybody. Good day. Good day. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Uncensored, the truth about money. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you being here, taking your time, and to listen to us. Us giving you valuable information that you need. So, last episode. Wow, what happened there? So,
Wow.
so in the so as you would know, we are on season 2 and we've been talking about business, right? So if you already have an existing business, or you want to start your own business, we've been like sort of like gathering that information and giving it to you guys, right? We've tried our best and we are doing our best to give you information that we feel like you would be able to use, not just information, but valuable information that you can put into practice and use on a day-to-day basis, right? So previous episode we were talking about marketing, right? And honestly, we just scraped the surface, right? There's still a lot that we didn't get into. There's still a lot that we need to get into, and we are hoping that that might have sparked something within you to be able to do your own research as well, right? So moving on. So today we are speaking about branding, right? Branding. Can I say branding, branded identity, or is that a part of branding?
No, it's part of branding.
Is it part of
Leave
branding?
it at branding.
Branding. The professionals have spoken. So we're talking about branding. So with me today, I struggled to introduce him last week because I have different names for him and nicknames for
Phetheho,
him.
Mosia. Hello, everyone.
I won't go to that other one. That other name.
No. Let's leave it.
How's it, man? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks. Nice to be here again.
Yes.
Still here.
It's good to have you. So I realized the previous episode, I did not ask what is it exactly that you do.
Whew. So I've been running my own little boutique agency for over a decade now. So I think we're on 13 years with this one company, Momu.
Oh yeah.
MOMU.
Okay.
Ironically, though, in as much as like I sell strategy and brand identity and branding services, you get so busy you don't even have time to do your own stuff.
Yeah.
But also, it's that thing that Andre 3000 suffers from. Like, he's got albums, but he hasn't released them because
Sure.
he's such a perfectionist. It's easier to get work out for other people, but not for yourself. But yeah, so what the company does is brand identities, brand strategies. So in your brand identity, then you'd cover at design. Okay. So your logo, your website. You'd then cover, when you go in depth, your brand proposition, brand positioning, brand philosophy. It gets complicated later on, but also depending if that's when it's a brand new brand. If it's an old brand, you need a brand audit. We need to look at what you've done in the past, how you've engaged with the people in the past. We need to define who you are right now and who you want to be after the audit, and see what you've done to tell people or relate to people as to who you are as a brand and what you want to do and the legacy you want to leave behind.
Sure.
And then look at how to get there. Or maybe we need to reposition and rebrand like an Absa did, because the other one had an aftertaste of apartheid. The new one kind of positioned it as, what do they call it? Afrocentric or something like that. Where, they're more about Africa and technology and the future of Africa. So that was as a result of I guess a brand audit and market analysis to say, right, who are we selling to? How do they feel? How do we relate to them? How do they get to relate to us?
You mentioned two things that I feel like I would like you to just go go deeper on. How you brand philosophy and brand positioning. Especially what do you mean by brand philosophy?
Philosophy is what you stand for.
Sure.
Your brand has to, if you look at Nike stands for just do it. Their philosophy, if you get deeper, is about the athlete. It's about conquering your barriers within.
Sure.
You know, it's about encouraging you to go for it and do your best. That's their philosophy. It's just do it. It's even in their slogan, just do it. You know, so your philosophy in essence is what you stand for and how you want people to kind of relate to you, what feeling you want to give them as they relate to you. Because everything you do in branding stems from like this one statement that branding is all about people. It's studying and strategizing around the fact that people are buying feelings about themselves
Sure.
when they consume brands.
Sure, not definitely.
Like, I don't buy Nike for any other reason except that I like how it makes me feel.
Sure.
If you choose between red and blue, I prefer blue because blue makes me feel a certain way. You identify with it, but it also helps you paint a picture of who you want to be to people. So when we do branding, we are studying that. We are studying how do people feel about you and how do they want to feel when they use your product. And that can sometimes help you even change your product. Like, who else can I look at? I think like there's plenty of brands that could have started out and wanted to be a standalone brand, but you're actually the best add-on brand.
Okay.
You know, like your mixes, your tonic, you know, like even now Coke advertising as the best thing to have after meals.
Was
Like, you
tonic
see,
ever made to stand alone?
yeah, I mean, it's some people used to drink
Just
tonic,
tonic
I
alone,
guess.
sure.
I mean, ginger ale was a standalone drink.
Sure.
There used to be a ginger ale called Crest.
Yeah.
Once again, Malume revealing his age. But I mean, Indian tonic used to come in a liter back in the day. It wasn't even like mixer necessarily mixer. There was, but the positioning was strange.
Sure.
You know? But ginger ale is a good standalone drink. I drink ginger ale.
Yeah, yeah,
You've
yeah.
seen me.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
It's a very nice drink though. And then now with that, then what?
And then the positioning is like, are you youthful? Are you for the old? Or are you a cool brand? Are you a serious brand? Are you a modern brand? Are you an old school brand, classic?
So that's
More positioning.
It's not because I'm thinking like it would be the same thing as philosophy.
No,
It's what you stand for.
No. Philosophy, I mean, you can say you believe in human beings,
Sure.
but you can say it wearing purple or you can say it wearing navy.
Okay.
That's positioning. Like if you say it with purple, you're probably going younger, more creative. Kids just want fresh colors.
Yeah.
And maybe you use funky fonts, right?
Sure.
And then if you're saying it to an older bunch, you use your more classic fonts, which is your serif fonts that have like little motifs at the end. That's when now you go, okay, my positioning is that I need to be serious and reliable. But I still say I believe and love people. Just how am I saying it? Am I saying it wearing shorts or am I saying it wearing suits?
You just opened a can of worms.
It is, man. Like, you know, remember when I was telling you the story earlier on how far branding has come. I mean, for the last, 15 years? 16 years, if not more. I guess I'm relating it back to when I started calling myself a brand strategist, was when I realized that in my thinking, I, started from a brand disposition, or how do people feel and how I want people to feel. Because I knew that in advertising, I didn't necessarily have, I had a deeper thinking than just the creative director to say, let's come up with a cool new ad and this is how the kids speak and this would be a really cool one.
Sure.
Mine was a little bit deeper. It was, it affected the entire brand than it did cool ad, cool message. Whereas advert is what's the current messaging. Brand is more, how do I want you to feel about me and see me, understand me in a deeper way. And advertising is just, this is the new thing that I'm doing. It reinforces the brand.
So now, how would you distinguish branding and marketing?
Branding deals with how people relate to you. Marketing, for me, as I grow and even when it started out, even as it describes itself,
Sure,
it's product development. It's the reason why you want to start a product. It's the reason why you want to start or offer a service.
okay,
That's marketing. Marketing is taking all that research to say, let's say we, Ibeshu, And then you have to take Ipeshu to China. Before you start selling Ipeshu in China, you do market research.
Yeah.
You don't do brand research.
Sure.
You do market research because you have to look at
Ubani uzogqoka ibheshu.
ubani uzogqoka ibheshu. Kuyabanda. I understand bagqoka iketi.
Yeah.
They're allergic to fur and they've got the whole animal rights thing. It's wrong. What.
Yes.
Marketing research says product is a fail. Thing asizi. What's this? Dove in Tipo.
Yeah.
Dove in Europe, it's cheap. Fuck, it's like your, I don't know what. Like I don't want to, bash any names, but it's not positioned the way it is in South Africa. When it came to South Africa, it was like, guess I get Dove.
Yeah.
But funny enough, in South Africa, like your Lifebuoy and Dove, the positioning is different. Abo Lifebuoy by Dura in Europe.
Okay.
Look at that. Lifebuoy is quite a bougie product.
Yeah.
In Europe, but Dove is like Dove, think it Dove, Turan, whatever.
Yeah.
But this side, it's flipped because they looked at the market. Yeah, actually, no, we can't. In order for us to stand up and not compete, let's position this way, and then it Dove, Zaduma. Because also you need to look at our market. Where do you start? Which LSM is the one that's more responsive to new products? Which is Skalangalaba rich or Skalangalaba? Which ones are the trendsetters? Which ones are the followers? Which ones are the late bloomers? That's what you look at in terms of that's your brand journey. Introduction, trendsetters. Then you've got followers, then late bloomers.
So obviously, what you're saying is marketing goes before the branding part.
Branding is a function. It falls underneath the umbrella of marketing.
Marketing. Yeah. And then so now you spoke about that's why I'm saying it gets deep because you spoke about different colors, how
this
they
is
make
why you
people
gotta pay people for marketing, People don't put enough value into this stuff, They don't see why I should pay 5,000 and instead you pay 500. Which is why then you come back to me and I tell you, oh, you spent 500 already. That's the problem. That's what you got for 500.
Yeah, and a lot of businesses, they sort of do neglect marketing,
And then they only fix it after 2-3 years of frustration. Like, why can't I? Or you've started and then you want to grow, but where you want to play, yashisa.
Yeah.
On my website, it does right, this color and then you left wanting because you didn't invest in how you looked like.
So now, in terms of obviously, because you're also the reason I'm asking you this is because you're also
colors,
a graphics designer.
I ended up having to learn that skill.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in a very pressing business matter.
Yeah. So now, if let's say, for example, so what type of color, which different colors that bring different emotions. So let's say, for example, I have a funeral parlor. That's my business. What type of sort of colors can I use that when you see this color or whatever, you would know, okay, now we're dealing with funeral parlors because of how they make you feel, or the seriousness of it. And then there are colors that make you happy.
It's so
what
complex,
sort of colors would make me
it's
happy?
such a complex thing. Yes, we've got a base, right? I mean, red means danger, but we love Coke.
But that's danger.
But at the same time, red means love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or already apule. So there's what we kind of use as it should make you feel a certain way, but then there's brands that have made it work, and it's like, well, I don't feel that way about it. People have used orange and it's been successful. Yellow and red is an awful combination for me, but it works for McDonald's. And somehow Checkers still makes it work. Actually, no, they've switched to red and white. Excuse me.
What's that?
Checkers used to do red and yellow quite a bit.
Checkers.
Yeah. They still do the plastic bags.
Oh, the plastic bags.
Yeah.
That's ShopRite.
Yeah, ShopRite, sorry. I should imagine. Malume.
Yeah.
So with colors, man, it depends on a mixture of things. Your font, your use of font, language, graphic devices, how to, so for a funeral parlor, you could make a red funeral parlor because you're deciding that funerals shouldn't be boring. funerals should have a bold send off, and maybe you position red as something royal.
Okay.
So you can spin it, like, purple can have that connotation to say what, sexually frustrated, but no, purple is just a nice color. It could be the color of a plum. Or lavender is soft. It's the color for babies. Are we trying to say that babies are sexually frustrated? You know what I mean? So it's a guideline, a very loose one, but it is important when combined with all these other devices to say, what's the font, what's the messaging, what's the feeling, the general bigger picture. Like I said, if it's a funeral parlor and let's say we chose the color red, what shade of red?
Sure.
And is it complemented by white, gold, black, blue, purple, whatever? What font? Then does it say royal or does it say my 2000?
So I almost can't just wake up and decide on the color or whatever. So I need to.
Yes and no.
These are things you
yes
need
and
to
no.
take
There's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
But we can make almost any color work. Almost.
Yeah. And then how can I then, with that said, how can I then develop my own brand?
Stay true. This is what people complicate. They try and become something they're not. Most important thing about branding, and especially when I consult with businesses, I always ask them, why are you doing what you're doing? And how do you want people to see you? How do you want people to think about you? How do you want people to remember you? That's the most important thing. When you start there, that's when now I'm able to say, right, what you're saying about yourself looks better using that font. That color wouldn't work because it makes people feel like you a little too soft. We need a harder color. Or if you're doing something hard and serious, we need a softer color to maybe break down the seriousness of your line of business so that it's more relatable. So it really depends on why you're doing what you're doing and how do you want people to feel about you.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing.
So now with that said, obviously with you having experience in this field, what sort of like common mistakes do you feel like businesses make?
They get fake. and they take it for granted. They cheat in terms of money. You're gonna get, unless you've got that magical kid or that best friend who's doing you a favor, you get what you pay for. You really get what you pay for. When I'm gonna charge you a certain amount and say minimum for me to get out of bed is that much, I mean it. But it's also because I've got a dedication to my craft or to just, branding as a whole, that I want to put my name behind something I'll be proud of. And I mean, you'll hear it in the 1 minute you spend with me to say your color, your font, what's happening globally. Do you have a global outlook? Okay, what's happening in South Africa? What's happening in the hood? How are they responding to things in the hood? But who in the hood are you speaking to? The people that are more modern that go to the cities and come back, or are you speaking to Amapena Plus? Amapena Plus are one and one. They're more followers. So who are the influencers? What are you influencing them in? What can they trust? So you've got to look at all those things before you even design anything or recommend a color. And then you take it even further to say, right, whatever you say you look like has to translate into how you speak to people. When they interact with your brand down to the person, what do you sound like? What do you guys say? When you get to chicken, like, whether they like it or not, and one day they should address this. People prefer the tellers at Woolworths than they do at Checkers and Pick and Pay. I'd be worried if I'm the brand managers for those brands, honestly speaking. Fortunately for them, they're selling something that we need. But if they were all the same price, people would rather go to Woolworths than they would ShopRite.
Sure.
Because I don't want my card declining and somebody say, "Yeah, decline now, void." And then, somebody's saying, "Sorry, ma'am, this card isn't working."
Yeah.
That's branding. That's a brand experience.
Yeah.
That's down to your touch point.
So what I'm getting is that obviously different businesses have different problems, whatever areas that they need to tackle, and there's no two way about it. If you want to grow your business and want to grow or improve your brand, is for you to hire a brand strategist and someone that's going to do a good
and
job.
help you and say what
yeah.
and really design your brand experience
from
when I call you for the first time to how it is that you maintain my relationship with you and how then we revive it later on.
Yeah.
And based on that, if you've done a great job you do something that I call brand evangelism, where people sell for you because they've had such a great experience. Yo, why mafuna in kulma no junior, mafuna makeke kulma no mams ban.
Yeah.
All right, that was a great brand journey. It went from introduction and education to then experience to then, hey, I live with it. Then you emulate it. Then you're with it every day, and then you start telling people about it, like, yo, there's lamalangi, lamakeke mnandi kanjani, wakasibanban. And that's how it grows. And that's good branding.
So we're almost out of time. But what would you feel would be, if I'm starting out as a business person, would be obviously in the subject of branding, would be very important? Let's say, for example, would a logo for me
Very
logo
important. Very important. Unless you are guaranteed business and you don't need people buying because of how you look, then you don't need.
So what
branding.
can a logo do for your business?
Make or break it.
in what sense?
Bad logo, I don't trust you.
Sure.
Great looking logo gives me confidence. Like, oh, okay, they put some money into how they look. They're worried about how they look and their perception. So I'll give them my time. They're a bit more trustworthy. Like, imagine a bank that had a logo that looked like Windows 95. Would I give them money compared to your Discovery? No. So your logo is a make it or break it. Fortunately, you've got a lot of free platforms, your Canvas, your I don't know what, for you to create a logo. It's a good start. You may not necessarily get like the best that a designer could do for you from scratch, but they do quite a good job. It's just that you can't manipulate things as much with Canva, but that's where you need somebody more advanced. But you have a good base of looking good and being presentable and trustworthy and putting an effort behind your brand. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming, man.
It's a pleasure, man. We can do a level 2 one day.
No, definitely, we have to. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please note that you can also listen to this podcast on Google Podcast, Spotify, and as well as Apple Podcast. So if you have any, we always have Phetheho here around. So if you have any questions or whatever you want us to explain certain things in detail, or you'd like to consult, we'll obviously put their business details on the description below.
Might give a discount, maybe.
He will give you guys 10%, 20, 50.
We'll see.
Yeah.
As the spirit leads.
Yeah, but as I said, guys, do not take these things for granted. Your branding, your marketing, these things are very important. They make your business. You are able to trade because of you being well marketed and you doing your research. So until you speak to him, whatever that business idea you have, or whatever business you are operating or running, you are running, don't give up yet until you have spoken to him. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we love you. Cheers.